So I'm going to give you an update of what happened yesterday in the LCA discussions. So over the weekend we had the new LCA text come out, and that was being discussed in the plenary on Tuesday, and there were some rather strong concerns about the substance of the LCA negotiating text by some of the umbrella groups, so the US, Canada, Japan, etc. What we saw yesterday is when the LCA went into the contact groups. In the technology working group, there was a bit of a kerfuffle. We saw the US sort of kick up a fuss about the status of the text and the concerns around the substance of the text. And at the moment what we have is a kind of lack of clarity about what is the negotiating status of the text. Different contact groups seem to be drawing up on different texts. There's no one whole proper text moving forward at the moment, so there's a great deal of no clarity on this at the moment. And I think this is illustrative of a broader issue in these negotiations, which is about trust deficit. And that trust deficit is based upon sort of three major things. So the first one is around a lack of ambition in these talks. What we see from the World Bank report is that the current scenario suggests we're moving to a 4-degree world, which will lead to immense devastation. And we see parties here failing to go to the top end of their pledges. So the EU, for example, not able to go to 30%, but we also have parties jumping ship and not signing up to the second commitment period of the Kyoto Protocol. So we have Japan, we have possibly Russia, we have Canada, and we have the US and New Zealand not signing up to the second commitment period. The other issue is finance. There is a lack of ambition on finance. We are facing, in Oxfam's words, a fiscal cliff. We have an agreement to reach 100 billion, but we have no clear process to get there. And this is a real problem in the talks. The finance was a key part of the Copenhagen bargain, and basically we don't have any clarity on it. And then lastly, there is no space at present for discussing equity and what access to sustainable development looks like under the new Durban Platform. We see various disagreements on how this should be shaped, but no developed countries really come in with concrete proposals about how to take this forward. So what we see in Doha is that all parties are coming with relatively little to offer. There's not much on the table, not many chips to bargain with. Which means that things like the LCA text, the status of it, the importance that people make about moving forward, constructive signals, are very meaningful because we don't have these grand ambitions on the table. So this is a real challenge to the COP presidency, who have to date not been incredibly visible in brokering deals here. So engaging them, they need to engage on frontline diplomacy and help broker an outcome under the LCA, decide which is the text that we're going to move forward and get a clear process out of here. But it's also a challenge to the parties, and in particular I think to those parties that do genuinely want to see an outcome here. For example, the EU, who could be putting forward constructive proposals, getting on the front foot, re-engaging with this process rather than just being left behind essentially.